Today we're seeing one of my own games because we haven't seen one
Ooh.
in a while. So this comes from the Canadian University Championships, which we've analyzed in our lessons a few times over the years.
Yes, and how did it go? That of course, need to know.
Yeah, so this year it was in Toronto where I played for my university, University of Ottawa, where I study. And I played on board one, so I played the best player from every other university. And in total, I got 3 out of 5. I did pretty neutral. Some people did really well on our team. And in the last round, our university was doing pretty well, and we had a shot at the top three. But in the last round, we get paired against the best team, which is the University of Toronto, where all players are above 2,200.
Oof.
So they are so stacked that their team B and C are stronger than some A teams.
Oh my
So
goodness.
guess who I play? I play the same guy as from last year's episode,
No.
the one I lost to in the final, really, really roller coaster game. But now I was ready for revenge, knowing what happened last year. And his name was I am Nicolas Vites. He's a very good player. He's 2,400 plus, and we
Poof.
grew up playing the same tournament, so he's in the same age category as me. And he's known to be a very tactical player who really loves complications.
Excellent. Sounds like my style of play. Exactly. I remember. Yeah. Okay, let's go. You were white?
So, which opening do you think I chose?
Ah, Oh gosh, that's such a good question. I think you went for d4.
I did go for d4, you got it right. He went knight f6, knight f3, g6, and now knight c3. So for
Oh.
everyone watching, I'll stop at some important moments and anyone can guess sort of what the right move is or what the evaluation is. So in this position, he plays bishop to g7. A lot of people play d5 to avoid e4. But here, white can go for Jababa London. Usually, this is how it goes. But that would lead to different setups. In the game, he goes for this and allows e4 with a Pirc defense transposition.
Hmm.
So with this, which setup do you think white should go for, and what does black usually try to do in these lines?
Hmm. Castling and push the pawns on queen side. I think we were kind of very recently looking at one of the perch defenses or like some variations about it.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's one
You
of the
mean you
plans.
mean this? Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
white, on
So
the other hand, can maybe push forward on the king side and yeah, also castle short.
yeah, that's true. So the thing is, there's a lot of different setups for both white and black. For black, the one you mentioned is a very common one. They can also go for knight here and then e5. They can also go for c6 instead, knight d7.
Hmm.
They can play it in many different ways. And white, yeah, they can go with the bishop here, with the bishop here. They can go bishop like this. They could even try the long castle and pushing on this side of the board, but usually they castle short. So I went for bishop d3 here, which is not the most popular. The more dangerous one that would involve some pawn pushing would be something like this, with trying to start some attack here. And the most popular way is just to go calmly like this with short castle.
Hmm.
I played with the bishop here, a bit different than usual, and now played h3, so preventing bishop to g4. That's black often wants to play in these lines and trade off that bishop.
So your plan was a little bit, perhaps from the very get-go, to not make the position complicated and take out the fire of his playing style.
Yeah, I try to. Like, of course, I wouldn't try to play a boring position, because I don't like boring positions
Yeah,
myself. But I wouldn't go for something extra complicated. I would just try to have a good position as white
clever.
and kind of let him complicate it.
Hmm.
So that was my plan, yeah. And now he plays e5. So this is one of black's plans in this line. And I played bishop to e3 just defending. So like you said, just calm in the center. And at this point, he plays knight h5, and this is where I play somewhat of a novelty because turns out nobody else has played it before. I played bishop to g5
Hmm.
with the idea that if he plays
Weakening
f6,
this
then I
pawn.
will go back.
Hmm.
And now f5 is not really favorable. Of course, that's what black wants to do in general, but it's not really that good because it opens up the king unnecessarily. So if they play this, this is really not good. Something like that. And that is, it's a bit too open for black. And if they play this, then there's even g4.
Oof.
So that was kind of the plan. No f5 for now, and this pawn here is ruining black's piece coordination a bit. Instead, he plays queen d7, which
Oh.
looked weird, but it ended up being one of the best moves. So how do you think white should continue?
Very hard to tell. And probably a good question, which you should at home ask yourself as well. What are the plans? What are the ideas here? So, I mean, it is interesting. Queen d7 is kind of looking at h3. So there's never an option to play g3 or g4. Well, probably g4, g3, yes, g4. Oh my god. Um, I don't know. Svitlana, what were you thinking when you were playing white? I don't have any plan ideas.
Good way to redirect the
Oh,
question.
okay, wait, yeah. So, okay, I have one idea. Bishop b5 and pushing on d5.
Okay, that's a good idea. Bishop b5 is one of the possible moves. That's pretty good as well. There, black might have pushed and played a position like that, which was pretty good. So this type of game could have been played. And I played something very similar. I don't prefer d5 right away though, because then they take away their knight and then they have sort of a easier time playing f5 in the
Mm-hmm.
future. But I did play your bishop b5 idea just a bit later. So I took here first. My bishop got kicked out, and then he took back, and now bishop to b5. So now if they want to trade the queen, that's fine. But he didn't want to trade queens. Being an attacking player, he goes queen to e7. So basically offering this knight. But if I were to take it, then I think that that just activates black's bishop.
Yeah,
And I'm not really prompted to take this, and then I even take away the d5 square from myself.
exactly.
So I was really stuck between knight d5 and queen here.
Knight d5 looks
And
so mega tempting, right?
yeah, and I liked both. But like with knight d5, the queen just goes somewhere like d6 or d8, it just retreats. And then it's kind of hard to find a follow-up because then maybe black will at some point play f5, and it looked a bit loose. So I played this instead.
Mm-hmm.
Just this first, and I was planning to play knight d5 next move. So just getting a tempo on that pawn. And of course, most people, I think, you just play king h7 to defend it. But my opponent found a really cool resource, knight to d4. What do you think this does?
Make things complicated.
That's exactly what I thought when I saw it.
That is crazy. Yeah, on the first side, it looks. I mean, can we not just take, and win a pawn for now?
Yeah, so that's the idea is that
But
I would
does
like to do
rook
that.
d8
Exactly.
break this a little? It does break it. Oh, but then does knight d5 counter break?
Good point. That's exactly what I was thinking in the game too. So you're going through my thought process, but then queen e4.
Ouch! Oh, disgusting.
It is, right?
No, that's it's not good. Yeah, that's where we can push away this variation idea. Oh
Yeah, because we
gosh.
lose a piece at the end of it. So even if we try to do this, they can take here, and even things like bishop to d3, which looks really smart, but it doesn't work because of this. And black ends up being up a piece at
Yeah.
the end of all these variations with knight to d5.
Whew. Okay, so instead, wait, that's not the position we were at, right?
You want
Yeah,
this one?
yeah.
Okay.
Ah, yeah, so we don't play knight d5. Is that... No, it's also not working. Oh, wait, okay. So how about we take and then we go knight d5 immediately?
Oh, like this?
Yeah. Ah, that's
Yeah,
not
I think
working.
the
Oh,
same
it's even
problem.
more horrible. Oh, gosh. What am I thinking?
Also a problem.
Takes
Unfortunate.
doesn't help any. No, no, no. Okay. Um, so we cannot take for now, I think.
Well, we can, because
Oh, I see
the
some.
problem is that other moves are not really working. If we play like this,
Yeah, that's not good.
then definitely not what we want around the king. And the only other move that is actually fine is bishop to e2. So this is totally okay, and I guess this could be a backup. Um, but it just looks like the position is equal, but black got what they wanted, got rid of knight d5
Yeah.
ideas, and they got a bishop pair. So kind of plays into what black wants. So I went through the exact same thought process as you, and then I was like, you know what? I have to make taking work. So is there a way to do that?
Hmm. Yeah, maybe bishop c5.
Yep, and that's the only move that that actually works here. E5 is also like the second best if you had to choose one, but there are actually issues with queen to h4 instead. So that attacks the bishop. You can try to defend it. So bishop e5 doesn't work because of this, by the way. So queen h4, this, and black has something really insane. So playing this, and then so they want to eventually win the bishop with this. But it doesn't win the bishop just yet because of queen to f2, which gets rid of the pin and offers a queen trade. So first they play c6, b5, and only once the bishop goes there, then they play this. And the annoying part is that they trap the bishop on
Oh,
b3. I don't know if anybody would have seen that, but it looks scary. And just in general, like in this position, you just know that some c5 or something annoying is
mm-hmm.
probably going to work. So bishop c5, you found it. That was the only defensive move. So if they ever take our bishop, then we win the rook. Would be great. But
That's helpful.
instead, rook d2. So suddenly
Oh.
we find ourselves in this endgame where right now the material is equal, but I have to give black the chance to take the pawn.
Mm-hmm.
So as black, would you take the pawn?
Hmm. We're talking about c3, right?
Yeah, or this pawn, either one.
Ah, yeah. Well, we keep the bishop here, so even the position is quite open. I think it might be kind of equal if we give the pawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. So there would be compensation for the pawn. My opponent ended up waiting one move and then taking it, although taking it right away would have also been very similar. So first, I kicked out the rook and traded, and I still offer that pawn
Ah,
because
yeah.
if I try to defend it, then my pieces are just standing awkwardly, so I decided to just give it.
Yeah, but that looks good now because now the rook can go to d7 after taking.
That's true. That's true, but it's actually not that simple.
Ah,
And so they take, and bishop a2. He decided to take my pawn.
okay.
So now we get into this interesting situation that you mentioned where, yes, the bishop pair is there, but black does have an extra pawn in the endgame, which can quickly become a passer. Which side would you rather play for? And yeah, what do you think? You said equal?
Yeah. I mean, the pawns on the queen side look very scary, to be honest.
Yeah.
That is, of course, if black manages to trade or at least half down the bishop pair, then black will probably have an advantage and win. So
Mm-hmm.
we as white have to I mean, yeah, I think it's a little better for black at the moment, maybe.
That's exactly the right evaluation. It's a
Mm.
bit better for black. So they do have an advantage, but it's not really winning. You mentioned rook d7, which was my top choice, and I wanted to do that. But then somehow rook c8 was happening, and then bishop to e6 would just come back and kick out my rook.
Mm.
So it wasn't really winning me much. So I decided to first focus on other things like g3, restricting the knight so that the knight could not go on f4,
Yeah.
which was bothersome in some lines. So instead, the knight went here, and I solidified my pawns on that side. Because the thing about being down a pawn, or down like any material for that matter, you cannot play as if you're down a pawn. Because if you start playing like you're down a pawn, then you become passive and defensive, and then the opponent gets the momentum. So I decided to just play as if everything is normal and fine, and I'll just make good moves on the
As
other
if
side of
nothing
the board too.
happened. Maybe they don't notice.
Maybe he doesn't know. Yeah, I would hope. I would hope so. But I think he knew, which is why he was,
Damn it. Those
which is
good
why he
chess
was trying to
players.
play for the win, unfortunately. So here once again, rook d7 was being met with some knight e8, and the rook wasn't
How
getting
annoying
anything on the
that that
side.
is not working, right? That's like the only real move which normally decides a game even sometimes, and here it's just like
Yeah,
everything is blocked.
that's true. That's true. But I was just keeping it for later because I just want to keep control of that file and go there later. So my rook does go there later. So right now I thought b5 was threatened in the future, so I just moved away that bishop. He played a5, and now
Scary.
finally the rook came here.
Mhm.
And here the opponent tries something interesting, a4.
Oh, that is
So
freaky.
yeah, so because this a3.
Yeah, but we just take or not?
Yeah, you think just takes, and that would have been great,
But
but this, this, and this.
ah!
Exactly my thoughts.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah,
What a good tactic.
yeah.
Exactly my thoughts. You were thinking, ah!
Yeah, exactly. That's how I felt when I saw this variation. So
Oh, wow. That's.
it wasn't working. So instead, I blocked it with my bishop, b5, just advance the king.
But why can't we take now?
Why
I'm
couldn't I
sorry.
take now?
Yeah.
This one? Let me remember. I did have a reason. Oh,
Oh,
because
knight.
of rook d8. Yeah.
Oh, same issue. Wait, can we not just take on a4? No, we can't. Now the rook goes back.
Yeah.
Ah, disgusting.
And if I do nothing, then rook d2, and it's, yeah,
Wow.
annoying again.
It's a
I mean, I
freaking
guess I could
sharp
defend, but I
game.
just don't see it working eventually
Yeah.
with some a3 tactic. So, yeah, still not really good to take. So I just advanced the king. The pawns did start rolling, and once again, I can never take them because of a3. So I decided to go for this bishop to d3, which was pretty interesting, and apparently it's one of the best moves.
Hmm.
But I don't know if I would have, played it the right way had he taken. Um, but he decided to not take and keep the bishops there
Okay.
and finally kick out the rook. But now at least my rook has some freedom and some breathing room, and I thought maybe I can finally take one of the pawns. And my opponent didn't like the idea of that, so he played b4 and c4 to try to create his own passer. But now, what do you think the evaluation is?
Looks better for white to me. I don't think that the complications have worked out for black. I think.
Actually, white is winning.
Wow. Okay.
I I didn't really know that because we were both sort of in time trouble,
Yeah, it's
so
difficult.
I just didn't think about who was winning and who's losing. But it's all of a sudden, right? It only took a few moves and
Yeah.
suddenly like everything turned around.
Welcome to
I think Black was
endgames.
just frustrated with not pushing the pawns, so he wanted to find one way to push it.
I'm just
And it
pushing.
does look good with bishop to b3 coming next.
Hmm.
But there was one tactic that actually worked out for me. So after this, bishop comes here. I don't trade them because I don't want the two passers. And c2, it looks really good, but instead of defending this pawn, I find the b5 tactic,
Hmm.
which makes the promotion not really possible because of this.
That one is
And
too
even though
fast.
the pawn looks far, it's actually very close, and it is
Hmm.
white that's going to win in that pawn race, and
Nice
the extra piece
counter.
doesn't matter. Yeah, so the dynamic does shift, but like I said, time trouble starts hitting both of us. So we just play on. So I tried to play it safe and just win this pawn. And finally I did. But of course, Black is not going to give up that easily and going to continue with advancing his own pieces. So Black's king came, my king came, and next I make actually a genius move, but without the follow-up. So first is a very good waiting move, rook b1, and you let Black take. But the problem is that I didn't follow it up correctly. What do you think is the solution after Black takes?
Well, looks like king going to d3, d5.
Take, take, king d5, yeah. Knight here.
Okay. Hmm. Huh. Does that not work? It's a check, huh? Okay, wait a second. King c4.
Almost.
Oh, almost. Now king c4. No. In
That's it.
in this after you take? Oh, that's all. Of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah.
So in the game itself, I initially was going for rook b, like I was going for this line. And then somehow in this position, I thought that I don't catch the pawn. Like, I forget, maybe I thought it
Oh
was on a3.
no.
Maybe I thought I can't go back. But in this position, in like that split second, I thought, wait, that doesn't work anymore. So for some reason, that made me doubt rook b6, and I didn't play rook b6, but that was the winning line. And
Oh
it was actually very simple. It was
no.
very, very simple.
Well, it can happen easily, especially in endgames.
It can, but it was really sad. But
I'm so
it's okay. Just
sorry.
because it's so funny because I just played Rook B1 too.
Yeah.
If I had played Rook A2, sure, we trade pawns and we keep playing and I'm up a pawn and I
Wow.
can try to push. But it's because I played the waiting move to tempt the opponent to take and then I didn't take. That's the funny part.
But it's not, look, it looks so. So the thing is, king d5 is something which then you don't catch the pawn if the pawn would be played. So I don't know. Look, takes, king d5. What about a3 doesn't work.
He just takes. Yeah, but no, it was knight c7 that was the problem. I mean, I guess black can play on this, but it's very winning with that bishop. It's okay.
I
It's
don't know what
okay.
I was
So, but
thinking,
that
but
made the game more interesting. So that actually makes
that's
it more
one good
interesting.
thing.
So I play a very bad move with rook a1,
Oh,
and now suddenly he has a pawn, and now it's like, okay, well the tables have turned again, and now black tries to win. So we play this. His pawn is a passer, and at this point, I've already decided what, like I've already noticed what type of endgame we're gonna have. And even though Black could have played differently, I'll put it into the analysis for the article. But we end up in this ending. What do you think about it?
it looks like with absolute precise play that black might win this, but it is very difficult in a long way.
Who might win?
Black.
Hmm. Yeah, so this is objectively a draw,
Wow.
but you're right that in practical games could like black could take over.
Mhm.
So at this point, I go on to do two of like the biggest bluffs ever, unknowingly, to make this into a drawn position. So first, try to attack this pawn. That pawn gets defended. Then I go for my first bluff, which is g4.
Oui.
And after I played it, I noticed what was wrong, but thankfully my opponent didn't. The way to just make a draw was this. Although I don't think it's just make a draw, I think there's some precision. But anytime the king goes forward, you have to push this and try to make it go to e7. And then it's a draw because black has to spend one of the pieces defending it.
Hmm.
And the rest of the pawns are locked up and can't go. So whether the rook or the king goes to defend it, it's like white is always going to have enough resources to hold and not blunder anything. But
Nice.
instead, I play g4 to simplify things and to get rid of these pawns because I don't want these pawns.
Hmm.
So, what do you think black should do?
Give it check. 1/8. I was just
Give a
thinking
check would
about,
be
yeah, it's
great.
not there. That's what black should do to make you win.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. You're always on my side.
Yeah, of course. So how
So first
about,
they take, and
yeah.
then that's the
And now we
critical.
push past. Is it h4?
It's not h4, no.
Hmm. It's not h4, is it? Hmm. Eh? Uh, oh, g5?
It is
Oh
g5.
gosh,
Yeah.
that's radical.
That is radical, but it's the only winning move is g5. Isn't it nice?
Oof.
So no matter where we take, there's a problem happening. So here it's this one, here it's this one, and I lose all my pawns. And here it's this one. And I suddenly just lose all my pawns
Wow.
and piece coordination. And yeah, this would have not been fun to defend. So it's completely lost. Instead, though, my
Difficult.
opponent plays this, which was great, because now g5 is not possible. But I really did think for a second that he was going to find g5 because I saw it the second I played.
Oh.
And I really hoped he wouldn't. So then he didn't. And now is my second bluff. I guess if I'm lucky once, I didn't knowingly go for this bluff, but I take the pawn on h5. And the moment of truth here is should black take the bishop?
Of course.
They should.
Yeah. And
But
now king goes to e6.
yeah, king here.
And now, ooh, okay. Rook a4.
Rook a4, I wasn't too well. Okay, let's try.
Hmm. Okay, I might, yeah, but that doesn't look so good, honestly, even if it might be correct, but I don't think this is the best move. Rook
Yeah, you're still
a1.
okay. Here
Rook
you're
a1.
like a1. Yeah, rook a1 is the winning idea, so you could just play it right away.
Oh, it's so
And
difficult.
and the problem is, so king g5, rook here, king f5 here, and rook h1 mate.
So annoying.
Yeah, and none of the f5 just doesn't really work. So
Oh gosh.
yeah, because g
But
rook g1.
it did not happen.
It did not happen, but it could have happened. It
Yeah.
could have very well happened. But yeah, we were both really like under a minute. So I think he just trusted that, okay, I'm not gonna do anything radical. I'm not gonna take that bishop because what if she calculated it and these pawns are working?
You made over
And
150 shows of Svitlana smart moves. You know your endgame stuff.
yeah, totally, totally. That's exactly why he didn't
Yeah.
take it. But no, the usually three pawns are good enough to fight the rook, but the king is just too close. And it's good to know that rook a1, like attacking from behind idea, if you're ever dealing with pawns like that. But he trusted me, which thankfully he did, but I thought maybe it works, but just didn't have time to calculate it, so I wasn't bluffing knowingly, but I think that's what made it work
Hmm.
because I wasn't obviously, it wasn't obvious that it wasn't working to
And
me.
imagine it could have been. So yeah, it's so difficult
So
endgames.
if
My
you believe
goodness.
in it, maybe the opponent will believe in it.
Yeah,
Another takeaway.
probably.
So even if it's wrong, you have to believe it because if I didn't believe in that bluff, I think you would have felt it.
Hmm.
So what do you think about the position
Now
now?
it's dead draw.
Yeah, it is a draw. There is only one sort of saving idea though, and it is king to g3.
Yeah,
So you have to go for that pawn
that
to
has to
not let
happen.
it
And that's
do
also,
anything.
yeah, a bit tricky because of course, yeah, the rook doesn't even have to give a check, right? It can just go like to e1
Yeah.
because you can take the pawn. Sorry, apologies. I
I
thought,
can go.
yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
take and play bishop h4, yes.
Exactly.
So I threatened to take it. So the game went on, and as this is going on, the whole tournament is watching and waiting because our board is the last one. I'll send you the picture later for the
Oh
article.
yeah.
And and I thought if I lose this, I will probably never recover because it's becoming such a long game. In the end, it took 6 hours.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we kept playing, and oh, sorry, the change did happen. So he let me take the pawn
Hmm.
and took this pawn,
Hmm. Yeah, it's Zugzwang. Yeah.
and now we play with bishop and pawn versus rook. So basically, my goal was just to not lose that pawn and not get checkmated. But the interesting part is that you know the rook versus bishop, right?
Yeah.
Still a draw. Sure, black can still keep playing, but let's say I lose the pawn. If this had happened, do you know which corner you're supposed to go to?
No, I don't.
So you're supposed to go to the corner that's opposite of the color of the
Yeah, I
bishop.
mean, makes sense, right? Yes, to
Yeah, like
defend.
if you go to, let's say, the wrong one, like you try to go to h8 for some reason, this is lost because the bishop and the king are just not coordinated enough, and black will have a combination of checkmate ideas and attacking the bishop ideas, where here, wherever you go with the bishop,
It's gonna be
it's a
either the
problem
bishop
because
or
then the
checkmate.
rook
Yeah,
comes and checkmates.
and
So
Zugzwang.
it's just like a general rule to know.
Hmm.
So if instead the king just goes here, it's not really a problem. Just obviously don't try to go to the corner, but I just made it go to the corner to do the worst case scenario. But even in the worst case scenario, this is fine, and black cannot really checkmate because of the bishop.
Good to
So yeah,
know.
that's even what would have happened if I had lost the pawn. I was trying to not do that, to not
Yeah,
make the game go on 50 moves longer than that. So in the real game, a lot more moves followed. Um, and eventually, yeah, some tactics here, so they cannot play this because of this,
yeah.
and the pawn is okay, but overall, it kept going and going until 6 hours and 113
Oh
moves
my
later,
gosh.
it became a draw. So it was for sure a memorable game. Even though I missed two wins, he missed some wins. I think we both enjoyed playing it.
Fantastic.
And yeah, and there's some interesting takeaways from this too, both in the opening and middle game, and especially the end game.
Absolutely. Fantastic game, Svitlana. Thank you so much for presenting this. We see each other next time. Until
Yeah,
then,
see you.
bye bye.